So I'm going to show you how to make a small picture book terminology mock-up. It's a good way to learn how to properly use picture book terminology and to remember it for when you need it when you write your reviews or whatnot. So what you're going to need is a glossary, several handouts. There's the glossary, a picture book terminology. There's the picture book terminology handout as well, and if you don't or cannot locate either of those, also in your textbook on page 96 there is a small glossary of picture book terms. You are going to need 6 pieces of blank paper, like regular copy paper, doesn't matter what color, a light color preferably, 8 by 10, and 1 piece of blank paper that's 8 by 14. You'll also need scissors, a red pen, and pencils of some sort. Optional is a ruler, markers, and colored pencils. So before we go any further, I'm just going to go over some picture book terminology. If we take a regular picture book, open it up. This is the dust jacket, which sometimes does not look exactly like the case. This is the paste down, and you can remember it's the paste down because it's actually pasted down. This is the flyleaf, and it can move unlike the paste down. Then we have a full title page. It's full title page because you have the title, the author, and the publishing information. Then we have a dedication. So the dedication page is also where the front matter is. The front matter is where they have the cataloging material, information from the Library of Congress, the copyright material, and remember, this often can tell you not only what kind of artistic medium or techniques were used to make the illustrations, but can notify you of genre as well. And then you have when the picture book starts, and this is a cutout, you would call it, because it's kind of floating. The boy is sitting in the car floating above the text. So these two pages would make the first opening of this book, because the opening always starts when the story starts. So let's get started. We're going to take 3 pieces of paper. Here we go. And this is where the ruler comes in. If you want a ruler, you can use a ruler. If you don't need to use a ruler. But if you want to, or very much want to be precise, you would take a ruler and you would mark an inch here in the inside and an inch here on the outside. You take these 3 pieces of paper, and then this is when your scissors come in handy. So with these 3 pieces of paper, you're going to fold them in half, and then you're going to cut out, like as if you're doing a snowflake, a little box from the middle of the 3 pieces of paper that are folded. Yay. So we have our first part done right here, already done, which is a 3 pieces of paper with a hole in the middle of them. What are we going to do with these? Well, we'll find out. Take the other 3 pieces, fold them. Again, if you want to use a ruler, you can. Don't need to, you can estimate. And with the ruler, you'll do an inch, an inch. And this time we're not going to cut anything out. What we're going to do is we're going to make a slit. So take the scissors and make a slit about an inch in. Make a slit about an inch on each end. Now this is the most complicated part. Is we're going to put these 2 together, and you just have to be a little careful because you don't want to tear anything. So what I do is I kind of fold this one up and I put it through like this, and then you let it expand, and there we go. We have the first part of our picture book. So what do you need the 10 by 14 piece of paper for? Good question. Well, what goes on a picture book? The dust jacket. So for the dust jacket, just lay out your piece of paper, put each end down, and then you're going to fold them, and that becomes the flap of the dust jacket right here. Again, you can use any color. It's just try light colors because you're going to be writing on it. So here we go. Now I'm going to show you very quickly different parts of the book, but while I'm doing that, I'm just going to quickly kind of draw things out, and then I'll show you from a book that I've already made to clarify some of the points. So take our red pen. Well, you might want to first, what's usually on a dust jacket? Well, a picture of some sort, and the name of the author, so, and a title, my book. And as we spoke about, you know, the glossary, I mean the dust jacket, sorry, dust jacket does not always have to match the case of the book. So this could have no picture. It could just be my book by L. Laster. Then we open up the book. So we see the flap of the dust jacket, and we'll take the dust jacket off just for make things a little bit more simpler. So we see that this is the paste down. So I'm going to write paste down. And this is the flyleaf. And unlike the paste down, it can, if you can remember, it can fly. So it's one of the ways you can remember it. In general, these two materials and the two materials at the end, which you're going to get another paste down and flyleaf, are called end pages. And this is confusing because it's called end pages even when it's in the beginning. So it's just a way to refer to all of the paste down and flyleaf material. So we have that down. Now we're going to, and as I had said, there can be anything on these end pages. They can be simple in terms of just being a certain color. So they could be, let's say, well, here we have the end pages are actually, the paste down are pictures of them. The flyleaf, it's pictures. And then for the Princess and Panther, they're my favorite end page and flyleaf set, is you get a whole picture of the setting. And you get one on the back too. So it's important to make note if they're special in any way. So then we're going to do the half title page. So a half title page is the title and author. So it would just be my book by L. Laster. Now if we want to do a full title page, it's my book by L. Laster, Scholastic Inc. It has to contain the publishing information. So that's important to remember. Also, from here to here, there could have been anywhere where there could have been a dedication page. Say I dedicate this book to my students. And most importantly, the front matter, which is usually like a little box of text. And sometimes the front matter is not always in the front. It's actually in the back. But it's important to look for it because it's the copyright information, it's Library of Congress cataloging, and it's the summary of a book. Often it'll tell you about what it was made for the illustrations, whether they used watercolor, and it can give you clues for genre. So here is going to be the first opening of the page of the picture book. And we know it's going to be the first opening because it's where the story starts. So, for example, let's say this is the verso, which is the left side of the picture book, and this is the gutter. So it's where the story starts is the first opening, and the story starts by "Monkeys can be funny," which is a text box. Then on the recto side, you have floating text with giraffes. And it's important to note that the giraffes are on the recto side of the page, and the monkey is on the verso side of the page. And what divides them is the gutter. So if we move forward, now we have the second opening. And it's a double page spread with a frame. Now there's a double page spread full bleed. Now that's different. This is a double page spread with a frame. And that's because the picture doesn't go all the way to the end of the page. There's a frame. And again, if you're trying to talk about where the text is, you would say the text is on the verso side of the page. And the dolphin on the recto side is swimming to cross the gutter along with the turtle. And the artistic medium, cross-hatching. So this is the second opening. So if your picture books do not have page numbers, so if you're referring to something, you refer to second opening recto side, or second opening recto. So then when we open to the next page, now what these are full bleeds. So the recto and the verso side are both full bleeds, meaning the picture goes all the way to the end of the page. And I believe that's supposed to be a manatee. So that goes all the way to there's water all the way to the end of the page. There's no text, it's just a picture. Then we have a koala bear and a text box floating above the koala bear's head, and they're both full bleeds. It's not a double page spread full bleed, it's a full bleed recto, full bleed verso. Next page shows a cutout, which is a fish just floating. It's when a object or person thing isn't set in a setting, it's just kind of floating up on top with the text box below it. And then on the opposite side of the page, on the verso, so you see the elephant, but he's sitting on a floor, so he's actually situated. So he's not a cutout, and he has floating text above him. So if we wanted to know exactly what opening that is, so first, second, this would be the third opening. Third opening verso side, third opening recto side. Fifth opening. On this, you could have one page that has a gigantic text box. Then on the other page could be a full bleed. Let me go to the next one. So here, it's important to note a double page spread full bleed, meaning it's both pages, it's the same picture, and it goes all the way to the ends of the paper. So I believe these are supposed to be like manatees swimming. So you would say two manatees swim over the gutter of the double page spread full bleed and this is the 6th opening. So again, just to go over some terms. So floating text, there's I tried to draw a dog. And again, here's another dog. This is a full bleed going all the way to the end of the text. You can see that there's like the part of a window there. And he's situated in his environment. This is a cutout. He's just kind of floating there. There's a little line, but he's floating there. And then we have a text balloon, a thought balloon you could put, or text balloon, or a speech balloon, depending on what it's. I believe he's speaking, so he's saying the book is almost done. And all animals are cool. And then finally we get to the end. And on this particular book, I decided to dedicate it to my students at 3401 at the end. And we get the end pages again. So we get the flyleaf, which moves, and the paste down, which is pasted to the case. And we should also remember, trim size is how large the book is. The spine is the spine of the book. So trim size is the height of the book. Spine is just the spine. You put it together, and you have your picture book.